Things looking crazy, a storm on the horizon. The pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for a crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're open the gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the face. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're open the gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're open gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. Let's get this show on the road. I think we ought to get going here. What do you think, guys? Should we do it? I believe we shall right now. Let's do this show. Guys, this is Ron Tyler with the Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome to our program today. We're glad to have you here. First, we thank everybody for being here. Second, please make sure and check your subscriptions. Make sure you're still subscribed to this program. YouTube keeps unsubscribing people all the time. So please remember to subscribe to this program. And when you do that, please also click on the little bell icon. Right next to the subscription button, there's a little bell icon. Click on that. When you do so, a drop-down menu of three items is going to pop up. When that happens, click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on the air every time. Now, we come on the air Monday through Friday between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In March, on March 20th, all time changes. We're going on daylight savings time. So it's going to be 1 hour earlier in our minds, but we're still here between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Also, another thing, we also come on the air at odd hours when there is an emergency or something that needs to be said to notify people what's happening in their lives. We do that. When emergencies happen, we come on the air at odd times as soon as the information becomes available. So know that as well. Now, another thing, Saturdays and Sundays. Usually we take Saturdays and Sundays off. However, We do come on the air when there are emergencies on the weekend as well, so know that. Also on Sundays, we come on the air at 12:30 with a Sunday school program that's called Come Follow Me, the Savior Said. This year we are studying the New Testament, so be prepared for that as well. I believe we're going to be somewhere between Genesis 17 and Genesis 20. Okay? We talked about Noah's Ark. We've talked about the Lord destroying the planet by water, which he's not ever going to do again. He's promised us that. But something else could happen. We need to be prepared for whatever happens. Okay? That's a fluke of nature. That's the emergencies that we talk about. Okay? All the time. Literally all the time. Now, guys, also, besides our Sunday school class, sometimes stuff happens. We come on the air to talk about it. Sometimes to ease tensions. Sometimes we just need to tell everybody what's going on. We do that frequently. Know that. Okay? Now, I want to tell you something else that's going on. Several things are happening in our world today. Minnesota. The governor and the chief prosecutor in Minnesota are being impeached. Okay? Governor Walz and Mr. Ellison, who is the Attorney General in Minnesota, are being impeached. The citizens are standing up in revolt because Governor Walz and his Attorney General have committed crimes against the people of Minnesota. They're being taken down. Probably within the next 2 weeks, you're going to see Minnesota Governor Tim Walz go away, and the Attorney General also going away. They're going to have to appoint a new Attorney General as soon as the new governor is appointed. That's going to happen. Okay? We knew it's going to happen. With all the misappropriations that the governor and Chief AG has done, Ellison has done, they're going to go away. We knew it sooner or later would happen. It's going through the motions right now of throwing them out of office. Okay? So that's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of uproar in Minnesota. Be prepared for it. Okay? Now, something else is going on. Last night, the Iranian and U.S. talks in Geneva broke down. No more talks. Yes, Iran could come back and say, whoa, put on the brakes, let's talk. But it's not likely. They're gearing up for war. The United States government has already done that. Okay? Again, like we've told you before during this week, there are 2 aircraft carriers that are in the Middle East right now. Both of them are over in the Mediterranean Sea. Both of them are heavily loaded down with weapons, airplanes going to war. We've had a lot of airplanes, a lot of fighters, a lot of jets, a lot of bombers head over to the Middle East. They're staged. They're absolutely staged. So now we may be going to war as early as tonight. I want to bring that up because it's important. What happens when that happens? What happens to our country? The last time we went in and bombed out Iranian nuclear power plants, nuclear facilities, nothing happened to us. But this is a totally different situation. Completely different situation. In this case, Iran has been under siege itself. Its citizens don't like the mullahs bullying them around. Iran was not a Muslim country until about 1979 when the Iranian Ayatollah Khomeini took over. Okay, then it became a theocratic government. It's been that way since 1979. Okay, they first seized our hostages, took our hostages for nearly 2 years, guys. Nearly 2 years. A couple hostages died. These are our embassy personnel that died. Others then were released when President Reagan took over. Remember that? When President Reagan took over? Unreal. Right before he took office, Iran's Khomeini decided that he was going to release our hostages only because President Reagan was known to be heavy-handed. They feared President Reagan attacking Iran, totally doing away with Iran, so they released the hostages. However, Khomeini has been heavy-handed in Iran with his citizens. And once he died, his predecessor, the Ayatollah Khomeini, took over, and now he's been in power over 40 years. Very heavy-handed. As of late, the citizens of Iran have been uprooted. Some of them have been killed as well because the theocracy of the Islamic power wanted them dead, because if you retaliate against the government, they shot you or hung you. They've been doing that. They've also been decapitating people because they revolted against the theocratic government. President Trump warned them weeks and weeks ago. You hang any more people, you kill any more of your citizens, we're going to come in and annihilate you. Now, Khomeini, the present theocratic head, bully head, has been in hiding. He's in a bunker. Now, President Trump and our government knows where those people are. Okay? They know where those people are. We are prepared to attack Iran again. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's probable. It's probable. Last week, President Trump warned them, if you don't come to the tables and be honest with us, you don't come to the tables and receive your counsel and abide by what we're asking you to do, within the next week to 10 days, we're going to come after you. That's what's happening right now. Okay? I believe we're preparing to go after Iran. Okay? It's a fact. It's a fact. Everybody's on edge right now. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What I'm proposing we do now is understand where we are at. Okay? Generally, as President Reagan or President Trump put it on Tuesday night in the State of the Union, our country's on good footing right now. Very good footing. But if we go to war, okay, if we go to war, President Trump's generals, the chief of staff, said that things could change rapidly. Okay? His own generals have told him that if something happens, we may run low on ammunition. We may run low on supplies. Right now, we're doing good. But right now, there's not been a huge manufacturing need for ammunition and other supplies. But that could change. As I stated yesterday, Iran has got help from the Chinese government. Okay? Xi Jinping, in charge of China, has offered Iran intelligence services, letting Iran know, one, where we are at and what we're going to do to them if something happens. Iran is knowing that. China also supplied Iran with munitions. He supplied them with missiles. He supplied them with ammunition. And I believe he may have sent over troops as well. Okay? Our generals have told President Trump that if we go in, it may be an elongated war. We might be there for a while. President Trump doesn't think so. President Trump wants to go in like we did before. Go in and clean out, make sure we get the nuclear programs completely annihilated so they have no chance of ever reestablishing their nuclear capability. Because right now, since we attacked last summer, we thought we knocked out their nuclear program, but they have reassembled the nuclear program. They have already got enriched uranium. President Trump told them, if you enrich your uranium, in order to assemble a BOMB, we're going to take it away. President Trump has already warned them this past weekend. Give it up. Give up your enriched uranium. Iran doesn't want to do that. Iran doesn't want to do that. So now I believe we're getting ready to go to war. What I want to talk about tonight are 50 items that will disappear fast in a crisis. 50 items that will disappear fast in a crisis. That's going to be the gist of our program tonight. But prior to that, I want to just touch on earthquakes just a bit. Okay, earthquakes that happen. I'm talking about large earthquakes that happened in the last 24 hours. Large earthquakes that happened in the last 24 hours. Okay, to do this, I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. I'm going to take down our webcam as well. I want you to get a good picture of where we're at here. Okay, going over into the Middle East, Afghanistan region right here. Okay, this is Iran. This is over in Iran right now. This is over in Western Iran. Okay, we have a 4.6 moderate earthquake here, 14 miles west of Sanal, Zahab, Iran. Okay, 4.6 moderate earthquake. Just to the north there, this is a 4.8 in Azerbaijan. 4.8 moderate earthquake. Both of these earthquakes are 6.2 miles deep, 10 kilometers deep. Let's go over to Afghanistan, or actually India region here. We have no records of Afghanistan right now. Over here into eastern India. This is a large 5.3 earthquake right here. Okay, this is 16 miles southeast of Takar, India. This is also 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Down south in the Indian Ocean here. Down here in the Indian Ocean. Okay? Guys, this is a large 5.0 earthquake in the southwest Indian Ocean. This is 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Let's go over here into the Pacific region. Here. I'm going to start up here. Okay? Harare, Japan. In the Ryukyu Islands of Japan. Yes, this earthquake is near Taiwan here, but this is in the southern part of the Ryukyu Islands of Japan. This is a large 5.0 earthquake here. Okay? Going down towards the south here. This is over on the northeast side of Mindanao, Philippines. Mindanao, Philippines, guys. This is the largest island in the Philippines, and it's the furthest island to the south of the Philippines here. Notice where this is at. On land, guys. Usually we have earthquakes here off land. Okay, this one is on land. 1 mile south-southeast of La Paz, Philippines. 4.6 moderate earthquake. What have we said about moderate earthquakes here? Moderate earthquakes anywhere. Moderate earthquakes can do moderate damage. Moderate earthquakes can do moderate damage most of the time. Moderate earthquakes knock pictures and things off of walls. Knock knickknacks and books off of shelves. Here in this area of the world. They don't have that kind of stuff here. If they do, it's very scattered. Very scattered. Look where this earthquake hit. My son was a missionary here in the Philippines, in this region here. These people don't have a lot of money, but there are people living in this region. When earthquakes happen like this, and this kind of devastates their lives. It devastates their lives. So in this kind of case, This kind of earthquake can hurt them, bad. We pray for these people in this kind of situation. But again, this is not the only earthquakes here, but this is the only earthquake the USGS wants to show us. Okay? I want to make sure you saw that. It's important. It's very important. Let's back out here. Down here, further to the south here in Indonesia, the USGS has only shown us one earthquake. There are 49 earthquakes here in Indonesia today. 49 earthquakes here in Indonesia. USGS has shown us one earthquake. A large, another 5.0 earthquake here in Tual, Indonesia. Tual, Indonesia, offshore in the Banda Sea here. Now this earthquake is offshore, but look where it hit. It hit on the edge of one of the tectonic plates again. On one of the tectonic plates again here. This is a large earthquake. 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. But again, there are 7 different tectonic plates in this region. 7 different tectonic plates in this region. What happens? One tectonic plate is subducting under another just like this. Just like this, guys. One plate goes under another just like this. When that happens, the earth moves, things happen. In this case, a large 5.0 earthquake happens. Okay? In this case, the ocean waters absorb the shock waves of this quake and nothing happened on land. Nobody felt this earthquake at all. Okay? They got lucky. They got very lucky. Let's go over here to the east here. This happened in the Solomon Islands here. Happened in the Solomon Islands, 98 miles southeast of Lata, Solomon Islands. Again, it's out in the ocean here. Look where it hit. Look where it hit. Every one of these islands was formed by volcanic action. Every one of these islands was formed by volcanic action. This is off the coast of one of these islands here. Look where the volcano is right here. This is the volcano right here. Now, guys, I don't know how populated an island this is. I don't know. This may have people living here. But again, this is offshore from the islands. It's my opinion that nobody even felt this earthquake. We hope that the Pacific Ocean waters absorb the shockwaves of this quake. This is just a moderate quake. An upper size 4.8 moderate quake. Moderate quakes range in size from 4.0 to 4.8. This is on the upper side. If it had gotten to a 5.0, that would have been a little bit of a different story, but this is still a moderate quake. Offshore of the islands here in the Solomon Islands here. Okay, let's back out here. Over here in the Fiji Islands here. They say this is closer to Tonga here. 167 miles west-northwest of Huma, Tonga. H-O-U-M-A, Tonga. 4.1 moderate earthquake out here in the Pacific Ocean. Nobody felt this earthquake at all. The ocean waters absorbed the shockwaves of this quake. Nobody felt this earthquake at all. They got lucky again. Again, there are other earthquakes, but they're not anything that anybody needs to be concerned with, according to USGS. There are other minor and small earthquakes down here in New Zealand. Fortunately, nothing really to talk about. Nothing big at all. Now, let's back out here. Okay? I want to talk about a large earthquake down here in the South Sandwich Islands again. This is in the Drake Passage, Still in the Drake Passage over here near the South Sandwich Islands. This is a large 5.3 earthquake here. A 5.3 earthquake. Now, this is a large earthquake, yes, but nobody's around to feel it. Nobody's anywhere near here. For the most part, this had no consequence at all. This is also an aftershock of a 7.4 earthquake that happened here about 6 months ago. An aftershock of that earthquake. They're going to continue to happen. We've talked about aftershocks for many years now. Aftershocks occur for anywhere from weeks to months to years. This may go on for years now. Years. In the Drake Passage, a 5.3 large earthquake last night. Okay? Let's go up here into South America here. Again, these are not the only earthquakes hitting here in South America. Down here in central Chile, Argentina region, 14 earthquakes are here. USGS doesn't show any of them. None of them. They show 2 earthquakes up here, one in northern Chile and one in Peru. There are 13 other earthquakes here in this area in northern Chile, in the Peruvian region. This earthquake is a 4.6. There are numerous 4.0, 4.9 earthquakes here in northern Chile, Argentina region. Numerous of them. This 4.6 is 64 miles deep. 64 miles deep. Over here in Peru, southern Peru region, this is a 4.2 earthquake. This is 96 miles deep. 4.2 moderate earthquake on the low end. Nothing happened here. Nothing happened here. They felt the ground move here in Peru. That's about it. They felt some shaking here. That's just about it. But again, notice where these earthquakes are. These earthquakes are in the upper Andes Mountains here. The upper Andes Mountains. Look where this earthquake is. Just northeast of a volcano. Northeast of a volcano here, guys. Now, I'm not saying necessarily this earthquake was caused by magma going to the volcano or coming away from the volcano, but it's very close to the volcano here. Very, very close to these volcanoes. It happens here in the Andes Mountains. Here in the mountains, they don't have a lot of people live here. Yes, there are colonies of people live here. There are colonies of people living here in the Andes Mountains, but not too often. I don't believe anybody even felt this earthquake, except that they were living very close to this earthquake. There's another earthquake here, right here to the north, near San Bartolo, Peru. Near San Bartolo, Peru here. 8 miles north-northwest of San Bartolo, Peru. This is a large 5.0 earthquake here. Large 5.0 earthquake. This is 40 miles deep. Still a shell earthquake. Still a shell earthquake. Now, in this case, there are people in this nearby area that felt this quake. They say this is 8 miles north-northwest of San Bartolo, but you see other cities here as well. See other cities here as well. These people felt this earthquake. This is a large and somewhat destructive earthquake. Things happen. I don't have any reports of damage or injuries here, but there could be. There could be. This is a shallow quake, so it's going to cause a lot more ruckus than if it were a deep earthquake, which it is not. Okay? But this happened. I want to let you know about this. Okay? Now, they're not showing any other earthquakes here. There are 37 earthquakes here in South America. 37 earthquakes here in South America. Between Chile, earthquakes here in Peru, and earthquakes up here in Colombia. 37 earthquakes. Over here in Central America, there are 13 earthquakes here. USGS has decided we don't need to know about it. We'll go over here in southern Mexico. This is a 4.3 earthquake here in southern Mexico. Now, guys, this is on land. Moderate earthquakes can do moderate damage depending on how close they are to towns. This one is close to a town here. Okay? Now, guys, I'm going to do my best to give you the information about this town. And give you the information about this town. It is 4 miles north-northeast of Teocoacoa, Mexico. TIA, COA, CHISTLA, HUA, CA, Mexico. Teocoacoa, Mexico. I know I butchered that. I really butchered that. I can't pronounce it. Okay? It's 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 letters long. Okay? But this is very close to towns here. Very close to towns. Moderate earthquakes can do moderate damage in this region. Okay? Happens. But again, this earthquake is not just the only earthquake here. There are approximately 42 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. 42 earthquakes here in southern Mexico, reaching from Guatemala to the south here, all the way up here to Puerto Vallarta here. All the way up here to Puerto Vallarta. Now, there still are some problems here in Mexico with the cartels. There still are some problems here with the cartels. These are going to be ongoing issues. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is for all of your benefits. Okay? Don't go to Mexico for a while. Stay out of Mexico. Stay completely out of Mexico. I don't care whether it's northern Mexico, southern Mexico, or central Mexico. Stay out of Mexico if you can. Some of the Americans here are still having problems getting to U.S. embassies or getting evacuated out of this country. Stay out of Mexico. It's not a place to be. The gangs and also the cartels don't like us. They don't like us. Stay out of Mexico for a while until things calm down. Don't go here. Don't go here. Now, let's go north here. Let's go north. Up here to Southern California. Grateful Girl says no earthquakes for Southern California. There are earthquakes here in Southern California. We're not going to spend a great deal of time here in California or anywhere else because I want to get into our main topic of the day here. But there are earthquakes here in Southern California. Notice the earthquakes in Los Angeles. Notice the earthquakes over here that they are telling us about in Los Angeles. There has been an increase in activity here in Southern California. There has been an increase in activity here in Southern California. But again, USGS doesn't want us to know about it. They're still not telling us about everything going on, but there has been an increase of earthquake activity here in Southern California. Off the coast down here. Off the coast down here. This is off the coast of San Diego County. Off the coast of La Jolla. 11 miles west of La Jolla here. On the Rose Canyon Fault. This is still off the coast of La Jolla, California, on the Rose Canyon Fault here. This is a 1.0 tremor here. 1.0 tremor. But they're still not telling us about all the earthquakes here. Further north here. This is near Camp Pendleton, north of Oceanside, near Camp Pendleton. Now, guys, Camp Pendleton goes all the way to the ocean. There are beaches on Camp Pendleton. There are beaches here on Camp Pendleton. This earthquake is a 1.1 tremor here. Nobody felt it. No one can feel these tremors or minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. They only feel small 3.0 and large earthquakes. This is a 1.1 tremor here. 4 miles west-northwest of Camp Pendleton. Again, this is on just off the coast at Camp Pendleton. Just barely off the coast of Camp Pendleton, near the coast right here. Okay? Just putting that out here so you know it. You'll understand. Okay? Now, let's go north. Right up here. What do you think this is? You see Marietta Hot Springs here? Yeah. Yeah. Guys, I don't know why it keeps changing from earthquake to back to, I turn blue, they turn yellow here. This is also 1.1 tremor here, Marietta, California. 1 mile southeast Marietta. Look where it's at. Look where it's at. Right next to Interstate 15. Interstate 15 starts down in San Diego and runs all the way to Yellowstone. This earthquake is right next to Interstate 15 here near Marietta, California. This is Orange County. This is Orange County, guys. Orange County, California. We go up here to the northeast here. This is Winchester, California. This is a 0.6 microquake here. These earthquakes over here, shouldn't worry too much about them. But this is Valley Vista, San Andreas Fault, 0.6 microquake. This is 1.2 tremor, Idlewild. Idlewild. This is 7 miles southwest of Idlewild. Okay? This is 0.5. 5 miles southwest of Idlewild. This is a 0.6 microquake here. 6 miles south of Idlewild. All of these earthquakes here are in what we call the Anza Gap, related to the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park in northeast San Diego County. Earthquake City, guys. Between the San Jacinto Fault and the San Andreas Fault, that's where you have earthquakes here. This is 1.2 in the Anza Gap, Anza-Borrego Desert State Park. This earthquake here, Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, 1.2 tremor here. This is 0.5 microquake. We come down here further to the southwest here. Warner Springs. This is northeast San Diego County again. San Jacinto Fault. Further to the west here. Lake Henshaw. Northeast of Escondido. I've told you before I used to live in Escondido. 1.2 tremor here. This is this is 2 miles west-northwest of Lake Henshaw. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. It's very interesting here. Now, look where the lake is. Look where the lake is. There's a lake right there. I'm sorry. There's an earthquake here. 0.7 microquake, west-northwest of Lake Henshaw. Lake Henshaw is northeast of Escondido, where I used to live. Used to go fishing here a lot. They have a lot of earthquakes here. They're going to have a lot of earthquakes here. These faults have woken up. These faults and everything have woken up. We're going to have major earthquakes here. It's literally when. We don't know when. But the earthquakes here, the seismic energy is all locked up here in the faults. All locked up here. Should be no surprise when we do have the earthquake here. It's going to hit in a major way. For up here to the east, Cabazon. We talked about Cabazon a lot. Cabazon here that's telling us that this is a 1.0 tremor. Guess what? As I've shown you before, it is not just one 1.0 tremor. These are long duration tremors, and there are many of them. Many, many long duration tremors, sometimes 6, 7, 8 long duration tremors here, lasting not just a second, not even just 1 minute, but 5 to 6, 7, 8 minutes. Long duration tremor activity here in Cabazon. One more earthquake I want to point out here in the Imperial Valley here, in the southeastern part of the Salton Sea here, and inland sea. Okay. Now, USGS has misidentified where this earthquake is. This is just northeast of where? The Salton Butte volcano. The Salton Butte volcano is right here. Right here. This is just northeast of the volcano here. This is a 1.2 tremor here. 1.2 tremor here. USGS says this is 8 miles south-southeast of Bombay Beach. It's not. It might be 8 miles south-southwest of Bombay Beach, because Bombay Beach is up here. This is Bombay Beach, where we have 3.5 and 4.0, 4.5 earthquakes every day. This earthquake here has nothing to do with Bombay Beach at all. This earthquake has more to do with the volcano, the Salton Butte volcano here. And again, USGS is not also talking about the 100 to 150 earthquakes here, just over here on land here. On land. Calipatria, California here. Anywhere from 75 to 150 earthquakes here a day. And USGS says nothing about it. Nothing at all. 500 earthquakes a day here in the Imperial Valley. Happens every day. But USGS doesn't want us to know about it. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. They're happening here. They are happening here, guys. They're going to continue here. They're going to continue here. Now, I want to go up here off the Garlock Fault again. Going up here into the Garlock Fault region. Ridgecrest, California. Ridgecrest, California. Remember July 3rd and 4th, 2019? 7.1, 7.2 earthquakes. First earthquake, there were 2 6.9s within minutes of each other. 2 different locations. US just took one down and left the other up. The next day, there was a 7.1 earthquake here. There are earthquakes still hitting here. This is a 1.8 earthquake here. 1.8 tremor here. South-southwest of Searles Valley. South-southwest of Searles Valley. This is a 1.0 tremor here. All throughout this region, we have earthquakes. Further to the south here. This is a 1.1 tremor here. 1.1 tremor here, Johannesburg, California. This is a common occurrence. They have earthquakes here all the time. Johannesburg, California. 1.1 tremor here, and also a 0.7 microquake. Further south here, south of Tehachapi. Notice this. There's a highway here. Interstate 15 runs through here. This is a 1.2 tremor here near Tehachapi, California. Tremors, nobody feels them. We go further down here on the Garlock, just north here of the San Andreas Fault. This is a 1.4 tremor here. This is a 1.4 tremor here. Dual tremors here on the beginning of the Garlock, right next to the San Andreas Fault. Okay? Now today, one earthquake over here near the coastline. Actually two, Templeton, California. Templeton, California, 2.0 earthquake here and 1.5 tremor here. Okay? Let's go up here near Monterey Bay here. This is 1.6 tremor here. We continue to have earthquakes here. This is near San Juan Bautista, California. Near San Juan Bautista, California. Just one more tremor here, 1.6. We go northeast of Monterey Bay here. Morgan Hill, California. Morgan Hill, California here. Right there. 1.1 tremor here. Right next to what? Right next to the San Andreas Fault. Right there. Okay? I'm sorry, that's on Hayward. That's on Hayward. This earthquake here is near the San Andreas Fault here. San Juan Bautista. This earthquake is on Hayward. Morgan Hill, California. Let's go into San Francisco Bay here. Right here. Guys, this is Oakland, California. Good old Oakland, California. Hayward Fault again. This is a 1.2 tremor here, Oakland, California. Earthquakes happen here all the time. All the time. They're going to continue to happen here all the time. Now, what we have here, this is a geothermal facility just south of Clear Lake Volcano here. These earthquakes are normal. Anywhere from 20 to 30 earthquakes here happen all the time as a result of men pulling steam out of this volcano. There are turbines here in this facility, powered by the steam from the volcano. When seismic activity comes off the Pacific Plate here, finds these man-made earthquake faults, these drill points, it fractures the rock in the drill points, causing earthquakes. That's where we get earthquakes here. But north of Clear Lake Volcano, this is a different story. This is Talmadge, California. Talmadge Volcano, or California. This is a completely different story. This is a separate fault line here. Separate fault line. 2.2 minor earthquake here. Just north of it, Redwood Valley. 2.2 earthquake here as well. Okay? This happens. This happens. Right down here on the southern side of the Cascadia subduction area. This is the southern region of the Cascadia earthquake. They're not reporting anything here today, but there are earthquakes here. They just choose not to report them. Notice this. They're not reporting one single earthquake here in Oregon. Not one. Down here in southern Washington, we reported on this yesterday. This is an explosion, allegedly, near Venusburg, Washington. 1.6 explosion. Interesting. Exploding tree. Exploding tree. Interesting, huh? Really is. Again, over here at Mount St. Helens, the reporting is 0.1 microquake. That's interesting because there are hundreds of microquakes here at Mount St. Helens. Heck, it's a volcano. It's a volcano. But USGS decides, guess what? We're going to label this as 24 miles northeast of Amboy, Washington. Again, they don't want to call it a volcano at all. They don't want anybody even thinking of it as a volcano, but you can see it on the map. It's at a volcano. A microquake at a volcano, hundreds of them a day. But they still don't want to tell us about the minor earthquakes that happen here. They don't want to tell us about the small earthquakes that happen here. Mount St. Helens is gearing up for another eruption here. Out here to the south, to the northwest here. This is 0.2 near Mossy Rock, Washington. Mossy Rock, Washington. In the foothills of Mount St. Helens. 0.2 earthquake here. Minor tremor here. Microquake here. Northwest of Mount St. Helens. Interesting. Southwest in the foothills of Mount Rainier. 0.8 microquake here near Mineral, Washington. Up here to the northwest of Mount Rainier. A supposed explosion. Supposed explosion here. Interesting. Interesting. Let's zoom in here. I want to show you this. Right here. It's a semi-forested area. Semi-forested area. There is industry here. There are homes here. There are homes in this region. Forested area. This is not an explosion. This is not an explosion, guys. They're claiming it's 1 mile northwest of Coppeson, Washington. Interesting. Interesting. What really is it, guys? Heather, what do you think this is? Let's talk to Heather here. Hurricane Heather's here. Heather, what do you think this is? Is this a marmot? A marmot causing an explosion here? Spontaneous combustus marmot? Spontaneous combustus carnivorous? Exploding tree. That makes just about as much sense as anything else. This is not an explosion at all. It's a tremor here. All kinds of tremors happen in this region all the time. All the time. But heaven forbid, USGS admits that we have tremors and earthquakes. Heaven forbid they tell us exactly what's going on here. They don't admit what's going on. Yes, we have earthquakes here all the time. Every day. Every day. My buddy Don's back here in the chat, guys. Don has been sick. We appreciate Don you being here with us today. Don's been sick. I called him last night. We talked for about 40 minutes, something like that. Don's a dear friend of mine. Been known Don for many years now. God bless our buddy Don and all of you. Okay? Craziness. Craziness. Exploding trees down here near Covington, Washington. Not the first time it's happened. Happens all the time. But heaven forbid they tell us about earthquakes at Mount Rainier or Mount St. Helens or Glacier Peak or Mount Baker or Constitution as well. Or even over here in Olympic National Park, where there just happens to be another volcano right here. Yeah, go figure. Anyway, does anybody have any questions for me about anything at all? Don says he knows nothing. Is Sergeant Schultz here? Is Sergeant Schultz here? How about Colonel Klink? Is Colonel Klink here? I don't see Colonel Klink here in the chat. Sergeant Schultz is here. I know nothing. Anyway, guys, that's what earthquakes are here for. We talk about this all week long. We talk about earthquakes here in the United States all week long. Down here in southwestern Texas, earthquakes all the time. Earthquakes all the time are a result of what? Oil fields, oil and gas pumping region here, all the time. Up here in Oklahoma, the same thing. Oil and gas pumping region here in Oklahoma. There are over 586,000 pumps and jacks here in Oklahoma. Down here, southern Oklahoma, right here. Wapanaka, Oklahoma. WAPA, NUCKA, Oklahoma. A quarry blast. Marmots again. I don't think they have marmots in Oklahoma, though. Don't think they have marmots here in Oklahoma. This is also not a quarry blast. This is very far from a quarry. Nowhere near a quarry, guys. This is also not an explosion. This is not an explosion. What is it? Right up here. We have 3 oil and gas pumping operations going on right here. This is an oil and gas pumping earthquake. This is an oil and gas pumping earthquake, a 1.4 tremor here. Not a quarry blast at all. At all. Okay? Again, this comes out of USGS's figment of their imagination. USGS has no clue. No clue at all. Back out here over here in southwestern Oklahoma. This time we're near Ratliff City. Ratliff City. We have a 2.1 earthquake here. Interesting enough. 2.1 earthquake, 4 miles southeast of Ratliff City. Interesting. Let's zoom in here. Swarm of earthquakes here. Swarm of earthquakes. What's happening here? Look at all the pumps and jacks all over this area. Look at all the pumps and jacks all over this area. This is an oil field, guys. These earthquakes are in an oil field. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. This is a 2.1 earthquake here. And this one up to the north here is a 1.5 tremor here in an oil field here and near Ratliff City, Oklahoma. Right smack dab in the middle of an oil field. 586,000 pumps in Jackson, Oklahoma. And 3 earthquakes right here, right smack dab in the middle of an oil field. Happens. Unfortunately, happens a lot. Happens a lot here. All right? One more earthquake, and we're going to talk about more disasters and recovery from disasters. Right here, Kentucky. What's going on here? This is the western side of the Eastern Continental Divide. The western side of the Eastern Continental Divide. Here in Kentucky, 2.2 earthquake here. Just barely southeast of Concord, Kentucky. Southeast of Concord, Kentucky here. Right at the Kentucky-Ohio border here. I've been here before. In fact, I believe this is part of a military base here. I believe this is part of a U.S. National Guard base here. I've been here. We conducted an earthquake drill here in Kentucky, Oklahoma, or Kentucky, Ohio area. Okay? We simulated a terrorist event here in Ohio. We simulated a terrorist event here in Ohio using the river. Okay? I've been here in this area. Been all over this area. Earthquakes do happen here. But at the time, we were more concerned with having a terrorist event here along the river at the Kentucky-Ohio border area. That's what we did here. Here they have an earthquake here, this time on the western side of the Eastern Continental Divide. This happens all the time. Continental Divide, the edge of the plate here, the eastern edge of the North American plate here. That's why we have earthquakes. That's why we have earthquakes here. Any questions here? Any questions at all? Okay, we talked about that one, Talent Age. Any questions? Okay, let's talk about disasters and preparedness now. Okay, what's going to happen when we have a major event? Whether we are involved in a war or other kind of emergency situation, what happens? Okay, photos show up in the media just before an event or just after any kind of disaster. We see images of people lining up to buy emergency supplies. People line up to buy supplies. Go figure. What happens then? All of a sudden, the stores run dry. The shelves in the stores are empty. We see sold out signs and rows of empty supermarket shelves. Clearly, the time to stock up on every item that we need is not when we need them, but well before we need them. If you are embracing a preparedness lifestyle, you already know you need to prepare ahead. You need to plan ahead to protect your family. You certainly don't want to be one of those people wasting time and precious resources trying to find survival items at the last minute. Now, whether it's a natural disaster such as a hurricane, or an earthquake or other human-made emergency, such as an act of war, Most essential items will disappear quickly from the store shelves. In many crisis situations, stores may not even have or even be open to the public. As you build your emergency pantry, as you build your emergency supplies for your emergency kit, I want to talk about specific items you might need, that you're going to need. Number one is aluminum foil. Number one is aluminum foil. Why? Aluminum foil is often overlooked in a disaster store or a disaster supply kit. It is useful for all kinds of cooking and food storage needs. It also has many survival uses as well. Let's talk about animal food. Don't forget your pets or your livestock when it comes to stockpiling food. They're going to need water as well as you. Don't forget your animals' food. Also, don't forget your antibacterial soap. Don't forget your antibacterial soap and wipes. These will help you keep you clean. They'll keep you clean while you're showing and saving your precious water supply. While you're trying to save your precious water supply. Baby supplies. Do you have any children? Or are you expecting a baby, or your children expecting babies? Diapers, wipes, and formula may be in tight supply during a crisis. How about baking soda? Baking soda is extremely useful. You can use it for cleaning. You can use it for deodorizing and cooking. Let's talk about bandanas and handkerchiefs. These items can help keep you cool and help you breathe easier if your air quality becomes poor. You can use bandanas and wrap them around your nose and mouth and breathe easier. Bandanas have also a huge different kind of uses. All kinds of different kind of uses. Think about bandanas and handkerchiefs all the time. How about batteries? We've talked a lot about batteries over the years. We're going to talk about them again and again and again until everybody has a sufficient amount of batteries in their home. Why? Why do you need batteries? For flashlights, radios, and other equipment you have in your homes. Have a fresh supply of batteries, all kinds of batteries from AAA, AA, C, or D batteries. How about 9-volt batteries as well? Have a good supply of batteries in your home. Now, guys, we are about to embark on the turn of the timetables from standard time to daylight savings time. Now is a perfect time to remember to change your batteries in your smoke alarms, and your carbon monoxide detectors. Check them about every 6 months, even lots more than that. I would even say every 90 days. Make sure your batteries and your smoke alarms, your carbon monoxide detectors are still working, at least twice a year. Okay? Make sure you have plenty of flashlights available for your family. Flashlights, guys. Flashlights require batteries. Your AM/FM emergency radio or AM/FM weather radio also runs on batteries and backup batteries. Make sure you have backup batteries available for that radio as well. How about bleach? Store plain, non-scented bleach with 4 to 6% hypochlorite for disinfecting items for a crisis. Bleach, non-scented, 4 to 6% hypochlorite in your home for disinfecting water or anything else in your home. Now, this may seem a little strange. The next thing may seem a little strange. When you have an emergency in your home, especially if you have children in your home, how are you going to keep your children occupied? Rebecca's here. Welcome, Rebecca. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. Rebecca's been sick, guys. Rebecca has cancer. Please pray for our buddy and friend and sister, Rebecca. She's been a great help to us throughout the years. She's not just a help, she's a sister. She's very much one of our sisters here. Over the years, I became very close with Rebecca here. Most of us have. God bless Rebecca. Pray for her as well. Dawn says here in the chat, your questions are important. One of the bad questions are the ones you don't ask. Guys, while I'm talking here tonight, especially, if you have questions, please ask questions. That way I'm happy to answer your questions here while we're talking about preparedness. Be happy to. If you have children, or even if you don't have children, or grandchildren, have games in your home. Have games in your emergency supply kit. Board games. Coloring books, even for adults. Crayons and colored pencils. Playing cards. Puzzle books. Don't neglect the fact that you have significant time in your hands, because during an emergency you might end up with time on your hands, especially if you have kids. Play games, get to know each other even better, have a few laughs. Laughs get rid of stress. When you're playing games, you're able to occupy your mind with other things than immediate problems. Games are a good thing. Games and other things are a good thing to have on hand. I particularly like coloring books myself now as an adult. Yes, you can buy coloring books even for adults. Don't forget that. Crayons and colored pencils as well. Okay? Plan to have a supply of no-tech amusements. A supply of no-tech amusements available for your family. I could recommend board games. I recommend board games, guys. Board games are fun. Monopoly. I've occupied hours of my life and with my kids playing Monopoly. Even friends have come over. We played Monopoly for hours. Literally hours. Okay? All kinds of board games are very good. Very, very good. The next, buckets and containers. You're going to want to have food-grade buckets for collecting rainwater. Another large vessel suitable for washing clothes, washing dishes, bathing children, bathing your pets, and storing gray water. 5-gallon buckets are particularly useful. We have 5-gallon buckets, we have 10-gallon buckets, we have 50-gallon containers for water here. Next, candles. Now, candles can become dangerous. You have to be very careful with candles, but candles have a use. Stock up on a supply of low-burning candles. Number one, they're easy to store. They have no expiration date. And you can make an emergency candle as well. We've done that here as well. Cash. If the grid is down, which it could happen very easily. Your debit card and your charge card will not be useful. And right now, we're right in the middle of getting rid of cash. Right now, the government's trying to make us get rid of cash. What happens when the grid goes down? Your debit card or charge card will be useless. Banks may be closed. Stores will not be able to be useful for electricity, but they will have their cash drawers open. They'll have their cash drawers open. So if you have cash, guess what? You will be able to buy stuff for your home, stuff for you and your children. Have cash. Have some money at home to use for emergencies. Put money away in your emergency supply kit. Bartering for supplies. Bartering for supplies. Think about that. Think about something you might want to change with somebody else. Might want to exchange for something someone else has. So you might want to purchase some things for your supply kit that you will probably never use, but maybe somebody else will. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Sometimes alcohol or tobacco might be bought by somebody who doesn't smoke or drink, and you'll be able to get something from someone else that does, that uses those things. Think about that as well. Now, how about clotheslines and clothespins? Clotheslines and clothespins. In our crazy society right now, a lot of people don't use clotheslines outside to dry their clothes. But during an emergency, especially if you have a grid down situation, your washing machine won't work, your dryer won't work. How are you going to wash and dry clothes? You can wash them with your hands, rinse them out with your hands. How are you going to dry them? Put up a rope clothesline with clothespins and clothesline. You're going to need these items for their intended purpose. But clotheslines and clothespins may come in handy for use in building temporary shelters as well. Think about that. Cook stoves. Cook stoves. You probably have one of these for camping. A grill. You might want to purchase additional propane or kerosene to power your cook stoves for use during an extended crisis. Don't forget the fuel. Duct tape. One of my favorite things to keep on hand for emergencies is duct tape. While you might not use duct tape every day or even every week, having a couple rolls or 5 or 10 rolls of duct tape come in very handy. You can't have too many rolls of duct tape. They're a lifesaver. They have nearly 50 different uses for duct tape. Basic clothing, extra clothing. Stock up on basic t-shirts, socks, and underwear. In different sizes to fit each member of your family. Sweatshirts and sweatpants are a good idea too. We talk about first aid kits all the time on this program. First aid kits. See that your first aid kits are well stocked with the following items. Pain relievers, Tylenol, acetaminophen, Advil, rubbing alcohol, antibacterial ointment, Band-Aids, bandages of all kinds and all sizes, medical tape, safety pins, disposable sterilized gloves, go figure, gauze dressings, cold medicine, prescription medicine. What about something else to take temperatures with? A thermometer, an oral and or a rectal thermometer. I found mine last night. Other things for your first aid kit. Medicines. medicines that you might need to take for sustaining life. Make sure you have at least a 90-day supply of heart-saving medicine. Diabetes, diabetic care items. Think about those things as well. Fishing equipment, fishing poles, fishing line, hooks and lures will help put food on your table during an emergency. Flares and whistles. These items will help you attract attention for rescuers if you need help. Flashlights. We have all kinds of different flashlights around our house. Some that take AAA batteries, some of them that take AA batteries, some, like my police flashlights, that take C and D batteries. Think about those. Fuel for your generators, fuel for your vehicles, fuel for your cook stoves, fuel for your tools maybe. Your cook stove is going to be an essential item to have for your home, for your survival. How about lighter fluid? We have these long butane candle or lighters for our home. We light our barbecue grill with it. We light our candles with it. Lighter fluid, these butane lighters are good to have. Fire starters. We have all kinds of fire starters in our kits here. Charcoal could also come in handy. Have a bag of charcoal. Garbage bags, guys. All kinds of different sizes of garbage bags. White in-home garbage bags. Gray garbage bags for larger items. You really can't have too many of these multi-purpose garbage bags. You can use them for storage. Use them as a makeshift tarps or as ponchos or many other items. Have garbage bags readily available for yourself and your family. Now we're getting to be coming close to springtime. Garden seeds. Now's the time to start planting things indoors, then later transplanting them outside. Garden seeds. Growing your own food will be more important than ever during a crisis. Check your supplies of garden tools and gardening gloves as well. Gasoline containers. Find an open gas line or even a gas station. If you get an open gas line, you might only have 5 or 6 cars ahead of you, or maybe there's going to be a lot more. Finding an open gas station might be a sketchy process, in a crisis especially, or if we go to war. But if you do find a gas station, you want to be able to bring gas back to your home for other stranded vehicles, or for what? A generator in your home. That brings to the next question. Generators. Depending on where you live and depending on your budget, you can choose from a permanent generator or less expensive portable backup. There are also now solar generators, solar batteries. They need solar panels. Think about that as well if you can afford it. Okay? Generators are going to be important. Don't forget extension cords. Don't forget extension cords to plug into your generator, to plug into your home appliances. Hand-operated can openers. All those cans of food that you have in your home, in your very well stocked pantry, those foods in cans won't do you any good if you can't open them. Use a hand-operated can opener in your pantry. We have 3 can openers in our home right now. One that's a very good can opener, the other two are marginal, but they at least work. Now, how many ice chests do you have in your home? How many ice chests do you have in your home? We have two pretty good sized ice chests in our home. Two pretty good size. Then we have several lesser size ice chests. Those are going to become very valuable when it gets warm to keep your food cool. These coolers are suitable for keeping food and drink items from freezing in the winter, as well as keeping things cool in the warmer weather. Keep in mind, some of your essential medicines need to keep cool. Have an insulated ice chest as well. Okay? Lamp oil. We even have some lamps here that require oil. They're not going to do us any good if we don't have lamp oil. Keep a couple of bottles of lamp oil in your home if you have oils or lamps for your oil for your lamps. Lamp oil, wicks and lanterns. Lamp oil, wicks and lanterns. Speaking of fuel, those emergency lamps won't do you any good if you don't have any lamp oil to operate them. Matches and lighters. We have plenty of lighters in our home. Do you have matches? We do. We have about 50, 60 matches here. Look for the strike anywhere, variety of matches. You cannot have enough matches on hand for anything. Have lots of matches. How about non-perishable food? Non-perishable food, guys. A well-stocked food pantry should include rice, soup, beans, nuts, oats, flour, sugar, dried meat and fruit, and other long-lasting foods as well. These also include sweeteners, such as honey or other non-sugar sweeteners. Non-sugar sweeteners. Now, I don't like chemical sugars. I do not like chemical sugars. However, there are some they are sweeteners, but they're non-chemical sweeteners. You might want to have some of those in your home. Now, right off the top of my head, I can't remember the type of sweetener we have in our home that's non-sugar. Yes, we do have sugar here in our home. I can't have a lot of sugar for my diet. I'm a diabetic. So we have non-sugar item and non-sugared sweeteners here. It's interesting. Just a second ago, we had 20 plus people here watching our program. That we dropped to 14. That's insane. Apparently, people don't even think about what's going on here. They don't think about what's going on here. We may be going to war any day now. This could turn into a long duration thing. We need to think about emergency situations. Okay? When you're thinking of sweeteners, think of honey and sugar both. Cooking oil and basic condiments, such as salt and sugar and other what do they call them? Other kinds of things like salt and pepper. All kinds of things like that, spices. Okay? Now I'm going to give you a guide of emergency food storage for newbies. Here's a guide for emergency food storage for newbies. Personal hygiene items, feminine supplies, skin and hair care products. All of these will be in short supply after the disaster hits. Stock up on these items right now. Pest control. You're going to have all kinds of rodents and insects. Those things will become an increasing problem during a disaster scenario. Stock up on insect repellent, oils and coils, traps as well. Portable toilets. Get a 5-gallon bucket. Go to Home Depot and buy a toilet seat. Go to any store and buy garbage bags. You might want to have some sawdust or kitty litter right by your non-flushable toilet. That way, when you have to use the restroom, you sit on your bucket, you put some kitty litter or some scented sawdust in there, use it till it fills up, then throw the bag away, dispose of it. Make a portable toilet or a pit toilet. That will make waste management possible. We talked about that now. Okay? Propane, we talked about a minute ago. Just before and just after disaster, propane cylinders will fly off the shelves. Stock up what you need right now. Radios. With no internet, no TV, how will you get news and weather information? Information that you might need. You're going to need a hand crank radio. Hand crank radio. I've talked about this before. Have a hand crank radio available for you. This also has a solar panel here on the top. It has a hand crank on the side. It has a flashlight on this side. This is an AM/FM weather radio. AM/FM battery-powered weather radio. This will become invaluable to you during any kind of emergency. A hand crank radio is an invaluable piece of emergency equipment you're going to want to have. Rain gear. Rain gear, guys. Rain gear. We have rain gear here. We have rain jackets here. We have ponchos. We have waterproof boots, plastic sheeting, and also garbage bags. Okay? Tarps. These are just some of the supplies you're going to need to keep on hand to withstand rain and flooding. If you have a fireplace, even if you don't, you might want to have seasoned firewood in your home. Seasoned firewood in your supply shelter. That way you can make a fire outside your home for warmth and or cooking. Sleeping bags and extra blankets. Sleeping bags and extra blankets. Emergency blankets in your car. A solar charger we talked about a minute ago. Solar panels and solar batteries. If your emergency is local or regional, you're going to want to keep your devices connected with the outside world with a solar charger. A minute ago, we talked about tarps. These tarps are relatively inexpensive. They're easy to store. They serve many uses during a disaster scenario. Toilet paper. During COVID, you couldn't get your hands on toilet paper. I used to marvel at this. When, if ever, did they ever said you were going to have rampant diarrhea with COVID? Yet they couldn't keep toilet paper on the shelves. Toilet paper. Yes, it's a personal care item, but toilet paper deserves a line of its own. Don't be caught short of this often forgotten everyday necessity. Toilet paper. Toilet paper. Tools. Keep your basic supply of tools clean and good repair. You're going to want to pay special attention to items such as saws and axes, hatchets, drills, screwdrivers and screws, hammers and nails, rakes and shovels, rope and twine, and wire. How about vinegar? We have several bottles of vinegar in our supply kit here. This is an awesome natural way to clean your home when you run out of cleaning supplies, vinegar, and water. Water. You can only survive with just a few days without water. Yes, stock up on bottled water. However, for long-lasting emergencies, you may need to have a water purification method. A treatment method such as water tablets, purification tablets, personal water filters, or a gravity-powered filtration system. Now I'm going to talk about weapons and ammunition, seeds. Be sure you're well stocked in supplies for both self-defense and hunting for food. Pepper spray is another item that's just an idea to help protect yourself. Winter clothing. Winter clothing. Since disasters can strike at any time of the year, it's a good idea to put aside a supply of warm hats, gloves, and scarves, and even coats and jackets for emergency situations in the winter or cold times. Wringers and washboards. At the beginning of this discussion, we talked about washing clothes. Back in the olden days, when I was just a little boy, my mother had a wringer washer. She had a basin with soapy water in it, detergent. There she wrung out her clothes in soapy water. Then she poured clean water over the clothes. Then she had a wringer to dry them out. Then she put them out on the clothesline to dry. Wringers, washboards, and buckets. Clothesline and clothespins. Washing clothes and even towels. You don't want to waste valuable fuel on powering your own washer. Have a wash you don't have to count on power for. Writing paper. Writing paper. Writing paper. I said it 3 times. That means it's important. Paper, pens, and pencils. Paper, pens, and pencils. If you're used to using a keyboard, there's no electricity, you're going to have to start writing things down again. Old school methods of making lists. Using old school methods of making lists. Notes and reminders. You may also find journaling to be both useful and comforting during a crisis. I've been doing a journal for years now. Years and years. Carol's also starting to do a journal now. They're very helpful. Zip ties. Zip ties. I have a cache of zip ties here in my kit. I have even more zip ties in my toolkit. We have a set of zip ties in our emergency drawer here in our kitchen. Zip ties are awesome. They're inexpensive. Stock up on those because you're going to find them very useful. Last but not least, Ziploc bags. Ziploc bags. All sizes of Ziploc bags. I've said it 3 times. Ziploc bags. Mostly gallon-sized Ziploc bags. Sandwich-sized Ziploc bags, even smaller bags than that. Okay? You can keep food in them. Keep medicine. And you keep other small items safe and dry. Ziploc bags are very essential. Have a set of Ziploc bags in your home. A set. Not just 1 or 2 boxes. A set of them. These are going to become very valuable to you during an emergency. Do we have any questions here? Do we have any questions? Now, something that Don Patoka just said here in the chat, I find it very important. I find this very important, okay? Many folks do not prepare for future events because normalcy, bias, money, laziness, or even blindness to issues, or because somehow they think they're exempt for even having any problems in their lives. That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy. If you get caught up in thinking you're exempt, nothing's going to happen to you, you're living in a closed door world. You're living in a closed door world. It's not right. It's not right. Yes, some of us get caught up in a world that seems normal. Nothing's going to happen. But when it does happen, then all of a sudden you find yourself in a place you don't want to be. Don't go there. Don't go there. You're going to find yourself in a place you don't want to be. Be prepared. Be proactive. Be proactive. Okay? You're going to find yourself one step ahead of everybody else. Now, Don also said here that this is very true. Government is reactive, not proactive, and supposedly responsible for the defense of the whole nation, all the people, but not responsible for the immediate victims. Immediate victims, individuals. Each one of us, you and me alone, bear responsibility for us and our families. So we need to exercise our preparedness ideas here and now. That's why I talk about it right now today. Now, in closing today, as I keep doing at the end of every program now, I leave you with the devotional. Yes, sometimes we talk doom and gloom, unfortunately. We have to approach this because we want to stay up on everything. We want to keep our families in a normal situation if all possible. But guys, even in a emergency situation, bring your scriptures to the program. Bring your scriptures to the program. Bring your scriptures to life. Bring your scriptures to the program every day. Not just to EMA. Read your scriptures. Read your scriptures, read your scriptures, read your scriptures. I'm going now to 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Actually, chapter 3, I'm sorry. Chapter 3, verse 15. If any man work, shall be burned. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss. But he himself shall be saved, yet so is by fire. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. Remember that. You are the temple of God. In verse 19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. The wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. The Lord loves us. As this chapter continues in chapter 4, verse 10, ye are wise in Christ. We are weak, but ye are strong. You're honorable, but we are despised. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? In verse 14, I write not these things to shame you, But as my beloved sons, I warn you. Yes, this is Paul talking to Corinthians, but this just might as well be to us. This is the apostle of Jesus Christ writing to us. As I said many times before, liken the scriptures unto us. The Lord is warning you and me. The Lord is warning all of us. God helps those who help themselves. God is helping those who are willing to work and do the work that's necessary. Do it. We need to be doing the work. I talk a lot in my lessons and in this channel here about being a wise steward. Being a wise steward. We talked about 10 virgins. We talk a lot about the 10 virgins. Are you and I going to be a foolish virgin, not have enough oil for our lamps? Are we going to be wise virgins and have plenty of oil in our lamps to go into the wedding with the bridegroom? Are we going to have enough oil in our lamps to be able to go in with Jesus Christ in the last day? I hope we can. I hope we can. In closing, I want to tell you this. I'm just a small servant in God's kingdom, just one of many servants in God's kingdom. If you can't sleep, don't count sheep. Don just said this. Don't count sheep. Talk to the shepherd. Talk to the shepherd. He alone is going to guide you. I promise you that. I have a firm testimony of the Lord Jesus Christ. He lives. He hears and answers prayers. I know that. He's watching each one of us, waiting for each one of us to reach out to him. He's there for us. Again, guys, I told you this at the beginning of this program tonight. We come on the air on Saturdays and Sundays or any other time during emergencies, as soon as the information becomes available. Sunday at 12:30, we have a Sunday school program that I call Come Follow Me, the Savior Says. Savior said. 12:30 Sunday afternoon. Please be here with us for that. Genesis, I believe, 18 through 20 this week. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. The Lord loves you and I love you. We all love you. Carol and I pray every day for each one of you and your families. Every day, without fail. May God bless you in everything you do. May God bless you in all the work that you do. We love you. Take care of each other. Love each other. God bless you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love. See you soon.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety. you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Know that we love you.